In this video, you guys are going to learn about why you may be lifting your arms. If you have this feeling of your arms just kind of flailing all over the place and you don't feel like you can coil yourself properly, then I'm going to explain all the reasons why that may be happening and the drills that you need to do to work on it. So when someone says they're lifting their arms or they're feeling disconnected, what does that even mean? To me, when somebody lifts their arms, there's no movement really in their bodies, okay? So a lot of the times when people lift their arms, if you see it from the face-on view, you'll see that their body stops moving, and the only thing that can allow their club to continue in their backswing is to raise their arm and lift higher and higher and higher, and also to raise their elbows really, really high. That's the only way that they're able to keep the club moving towards the backswing. So now, when your arms are lifting, the reason why it's disconnected is because it's moving so much more separately relative to the other body parts, okay? You can see that my body stops, and now my arm is disconnecting from my body and moving kind of on its own, okay? Another analogy you could think about is if you're trying to throw a baseball, someone who is really disconnected is just gonna throw a baseball with just their arms like this, okay? There's not much movement in the body, but when everything is a bit more connected, you can see that I'm turning my body, I'm shifting my weight, I'm turning my body first, and then my arm kind of goes afterwards. So we're trying to get the arms to work more so with the body to get it a little bit more connected so that your arms and body can kind of work together so you can produce the most amount of power and consistency. So the other reason why lifting your arms and getting it disconnected from the body is so detrimental to your consistency and power is because, one, you're leaving out all the bigger muscles in your body and you're just kind of taking it back with your arms and hitting it with your arms mostly. And the second thing is when you just lift your arms, you'll give the club a lot more opportunity to move around, and there's a lot more compensations and rerouting that needs to happen in order for you to actually deliver the club on the right path. You're going to struggle a lot more with consistency in the strike, getting the club face to be square, all kinds of things like that. Whereas if you were to kind of get the swing to be more so with the body and then have your arms come along for the ride, you'll be able to kind of maintain the length in your arms longer, right? There won't be a need to really compensate or reroute things nearly as much. So you're going to benefit a lot more with consistency, and because you're using a lot more of the bigger muscles in your body, you'll hit it further, you'll be able to actually hit it harder without feeling like you're putting in so much effort from your arms and wrist. Okay, so now just so you guys can see the visual differences between a connected backswing and a lifting in the arms. So someone who lifts their arms, I want you to pay attention to this lead shoulder. Okay, so this lead shoulder, when somebody lifts, this doesn't really move across the ball, okay? So you can kind of see, like right here, okay? Versus somebody that utilizes their body and connects with their arms, you can see that the chest and everything kind of rotates a little bit more so with the arms. Okay, that lead shoulder, you can see it move clearly more across the ball to the right, whereas a person that lifts, it just kind of stays there, stays in place. So there are other visual reference you can use is if you just look closely at your shirt, if you're watching yourself in a mirror, somebody that is able to coil themselves and use their body with their arms, you can see as I turn my chest, my body with the arms, you can kind of see my shirt really coiling up, okay? Now, for someone that just kind of, when they turn and they just lift, you don't really see that shirt coil nearly as much. Okay, so you can see the difference when someone just does this versus when they turn a lot more. You can see that shirt really kind of twists and coils a lot more. Okay, so that's another visual reference I get people to look at in the mirror to know whether or not they're getting their chest and their body involved as they move their arms back. Drill number one that I want to share with you guys that'll help you feel out what it's like to get your chest more involved as you make a backswing. It's called a punch drill. What you'll do is you'll just get in your posture and you're gonna focus on your lead hand. Okay, so when you go into the backswing, you're gonna punch across yourself, but as you're punching across yourself, I want you to pay attention to your lead shoulder. Okay, so someone that doesn't turn their chest is just gonna look like this. Okay, so I'm punching, but that lead shoulder isn't really moving. I want you to punch across yourself and get that lead shoulder to go across the golf ball. So once you've punched and moved that lead shoulder across the golf ball, then you're going to take your trail hand, you're going to place it where your lead hand is. Okay, and that'll give you a sense and feel for how much your chest has to rotate and where your hands have to be kind of in the backswing. One thing to take note of from the side, okay, is when you're punching, I don't want you to punch straight. Okay, I want you to punch across yourself. Okay, so not straight, punch across yourself. Okay, make sure that lead shoulder is across the ball to the right, and then you're going to place your trail hand on it. Okay, and that should get you to feel out a lot more chest rotation while ensuring that your arms don't lift and disconnect from your body. Okay, drill number 2. I'm just using just some little band and I folded it a bunch of times. You can use like a very small towel if you want, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this right under my trail armpit. Okay, now you might have seen this drill, like people putting towels under both armpits, but I don't want you to, when you place it under your armpit, I don't want you to keep your whole arm attached to your rib cage like this, okay? I want you to gently place the towel under your armpit, okay? So that it's just barely hanging in there like this. You can still see my arm isn't totally against I'm not sticking it against my arm like my body like this, okay? It's just my armpit that's tight. Okay, so what you want to do from there is, again, you're going to focus on feeling wide, turning the chest, and if you can successfully make a backswing while ensuring that this object doesn't fall out of or fall down, and that ensures that your arm hasn't lifted or disconnected from your chest. Watch again, if I do it correctly, I'm turning my chest together, my lead shoulder still moves across. You can see the coil in my shirt. Okay, it's really kind of wide out here, and the object is still under my armpit. Now, if I lift and I don't kind of move my chest that much, it's just going to fall out of there like this. Okay, you can see that my elbow is a lot higher. Okay, things like this. So again, if you can make sure that if you place something gently under your trail arm, okay, and you stay connected with your chest, your arm doesn't disconnect from your body, okay, then you're going to be in the correct spot. Okay, so just so you can see this drill from the side view, so I'm placing it gently under my armpit. Now, when I take it back, right, I'm able to keep that there. Now, you'll notice that I'm not keeping my arm like completely against my side like this, okay? There's a difference. I want to make sure you guys don't make this mistake when you're doing that drill. You can still see I can still raise my arm, but my armpit is just really tight, just enough to hold it there, okay? So if I make a swing, right, just gently like this, right, I could feel out what I did in the backswing. And if you want to finish, and then the object fall down after you hit, that's completely fine, okay? Now, if you put the towel gently under your armpit here, and then you end up lifting your arm, then you can see that it kind of falls out, okay? So again, if you can do this really slowly at the start and make sure it's connected and stays underneath, then that'll make sure, or get you much closer to getting a more connected backswing with your body instead of lifting and disconnecting from your chest. Okay, so just a quick recap of the main points that I talked about in this video. So now, if you're a player that raises the arms, right, the main factor as to why that's happening is because you don't know how to rotate your body, okay? You can see when my arms raise, it's because my body stops turning in the backswing, okay? So the next thing you have to do is, in order for you to feel more connected, it'll probably feel like your chest is turning a lot more and a lot earlier, a lot sooner in the backswing, okay? You can kind of see my chest and my arms are moving more together at the same time. It keeps going, 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 going. It'll feel like there's very minimal use of the arms, okay? Now, the drills that I gave you, the one is that punch drill. You can kind of see I'm like punching more across myself, ensuring that my lead shoulder moves across. And the second is ensuring that I have a towel under my trail arm. And the more I can keep that object under my trail arm and kind of staying there throughout my backswing, I know that my chest is continuing to turn and I'm not lifting my arms, okay? So someone who lifts will kind of look like this. You can see that it just kind of disconnects, my body stops turning, okay? I hit through it. Now, when I look a bit more connected, you can see that as I make a backswing, my chest and my body kind of move together with the arms. My arms don't look so upright and in front of me. It looks like it's a lot lower and more across me. Okay, and I'm allowing my body to actually determine the movement in my back. So I'm going turning, and then I'm going back around on the way through. So you can see my body is driving my arms, whereas before it was my arms moving it, and my body kind of staying still. So if you have any questions about any of the drills, leave a comment down below. I'd love to help you guys.